My guest today is a man whose name has become almost synonymous with the Japa dream. Where most people tweet about living in Nigeria, he built a platform, a community, and a movement, helping thousands navigate relocation with information schools won't teach you. But beyond the visas, the flights, and the migration bus, there's a real story of sacrifice, identity, and building a new life from scratch. Now, today, we're not just asking about living in Nigeria, we're asking about what it truly costs to start again. WakaWaka Doctor is in the building. Welcome to the show, sir. So good to have you here.
Very important topic.
I'm so glad. I mean, first thing I said when I saw you, I said you look fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
This is what happens when you've been to more than 70 countries, right?
Yeah.
The freshness just goes
Almost
everywhere.
80, 79.
Almost. Wow.
Yeah.
What's the latest you've been in?
The last country
Last country.
last country I've actually visited was Iceland.
Okay.
But I'd been to Iceland before, so it was so good I visited twice.
Wow.
You
Was
know,
it the $10 wedding that took you there?
No. I was actually there a week before the wedding.
Before the wedding.
Yeah.
But let's go to the beginning. I also know that you're an actual doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So how does a doctor find himself in travel? And a lot of people that are trying to leave the country, seek or go to you, either on your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever, to get all the information. So speak to us about how that happened for you.
Okay. You know what they say about condition and crayfish, yeah?
Yeah.
So, graduated from medical school in 2011. Started my medical training, did my house job, and then it was time to serve. So it's a very funny story because during my house job, I was earning a fair amount of money. I was earning almost 200 grand, back then in 2012. And in fact, I got my first car just by being a house officer or a house officer. And after the 1 year of internship, you have to serve, right? You have to do your NYSC. So salary dropped.
Eesh.
Okay. And I was lucky enough because for those of us who were smart, we knew the state that paid doctors the highest, okay, which was Osun State at the time. So I made sure that I, served in Osun State. And in fact, for the first 6 months, they didn't even pay our salary, which was another talk of for another day. But because I knew Osun State was paying higher than every other state, I tried to, get myself to Osun State. And when I got to Osun State, I met a different thing entirely. The workload was just not it. So they were running a free healthcare program, which meant that everybody came to the hospital for free healthcare.
Wow.
And every day would see an average of 350, 400 patients. And my salary was 98,000 naira.
You moved from earning 200 to 98,000.
To 90,000. So I was like, okay, I have to do something else to like keep body and soul together. So I found a second job. Now the guy was paying me 30K.
Also a medical job.
Also a medical
So
job.
in a private
locum, right? So I was doing 2 jobs and my salary was not up to 150K. And I was having maybe 3-4 hours of sleep every night.
Wow.
So that alone, I was finding a way out. Never wanted to leave Nigeria. At no point did it cross my mind until I came across a job opening in the Middle East that was offering mouth-watering, remuneration. So the money was in Forex. There was no tax. I got free accommodation. I got 45 days of paid leave.
Wow.
Anywhere I wanted to go on my leave, they'll pay for it.
Sorry to cut you. 45 days of paid leave.
Yes.
That sounds like heaven.
Yes. And I was like, this can't be real until it took 3 months to, and I didn't pay a dime. So it took 3 months for me to make that transition and move, which is another discussion we can have. But then when I got there, I saw the difference. I saw that there are indeed opportunities that people are not even aware of. You always think that your father's garden is the best until you see a different garden that they're like, wow. So I got a resident permit for Saudi Arabia at the time, and I was able to go to Qatar. I was able to travel the whole of the Middle East, and I was, different values, different cultures, different people, and I was learning different things. The perspective was different, and I was like, wow, we need to start sharing these opportunities to people. And at the first or second year, I'd already seen maybe about 30 countries. I'd eaten different foods.
30 countries,
Yeah.
first or second year?
Yeah, because I was my second year of living abroad. I was every weekend is a new country. You know.
So you would work during the week and travel.
Yes,
on the
on
weekend.
the weekend.
Wow.
Was pretty easy. Before I left Nigeria, I'd applied for visas 3 times. I didn't get it.
Well.
But you know, once I moved, it was so easy, super easy, because, well, now you have a job, you live abroad. It was so smooth. So I felt it's time for, to start telling people about the opportunities that exist. But it didn't start that way, because while I was online, I was still talking about medical stuff, giving medical tips and all that. But then a friend, WakaWaka Doctor, who is very popular, said to me, I was like, you, this man, you're always moving everywhere. Why don't you show people the beautiful things in different countries? So I started by saying, okay, I go to Belgium, I go to Luxembourg, I show them places to see, things to see. But then there were other people who have already started and created a name in that niche. For instance, Tayo, I know, for instance, was already huge.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, he was like, why don't you try and create a niche that is not popular yet? So instead of showing people what they can see in these countries, tell them how to get there. So I was like, okay. So I made one video about moving to France, and it just blew. My first video, it just blew. And they were like, okay, what name do we call you now? I'm like, Travel Doctor. So WakaWaka Doctor was like, nah, we need something that would make someone like, what kind of name is this? I was like, okay, he is WakaWaka Doctor, so let's think of something similar. And that's how WakaWaka Doctor came to be.
I mean, that's such a fantastic story, and I could have like 5 billion questions.
Yeah, I know.
But before we get back into the travel side, let us talk about being a doctor here at the time, 2011, and not earning up to 150,000 naira when you're working 2 jobs. That was 2011, 2012, 2013, and it's crazy that it has become worse now. I know somebody that studied abroad, came back to Nigeria, and said, I want to fight for my regret. Exactly, and I had to go back, to where she came from. But what would you say to that situation now, especially seeing the government saying that we need our doctors here? The healthcare system is in shambles. We have one doctor to thousands of patients here, but again, the doctors have to think of themselves.
Yes.
So what do you say to that what you faced years ago is even worse off now?
So that goes to tell you what kind of country we live in, where we never learn from mistakes. We always put the cart before the horse. I'll give you an instance of when they said, lots of nurses are going abroad, so let's stop them from going by not giving them their licenses. What you should be talking about is, how can we improve the facilities in the hospitals? How can we pay these guys more? If you pay me more, if you give me 1,000 patients, I will see. Because you're paying me very well, even though it's not ideal, yes, but that explains what I'm trying to say. You pay me well, you give me the facilities. Bro, we were using hanger. Hanger?
Yeah. Yes.
We were using it to set drip.
You were using hanger that people use to hang clothes to set drip.
Because there was no drip stand. And you had, of course, you care about your patient, you have to find a way. Bro, we're using torchlight to do surgery. Torchlight phone. Someone comes with a gunshot or a tear or a laceration, and you need to sew up. You use your touch phone. You put your touch phone in your mouth
to operate.
Yes. Are you gonna let the guy die? No. You have to do your own part. You have to try and say, okay, I did all I could, and then if something happens, you played your part. And that's what we're talking about. You have hospitals now in very terrible conditions, and that's it hurts to say this, but Nigerian politicians look after their tummy first. It's obvious that Nigeria needs infrastructural development in hospitals, in schools, and the list is unending. But it's sad to see that the situation a decade ago still exists.
What was the immediate difference you saw leaving Nigeria and going to Saudi Arabia? I mean, not just about the space, but about medicine and the medical field when you got there.
Even before we talk about medicine, this will sound very funny, but when I was back home, and this will sound very funny and might be trivial for a lot of people, but for me it wasn't, that you can travel 1 kilometer without a gallop. There's no pothole. The car is just going smoothly. that you don't need to rush to iron your clothes on a Sunday night for work because you don't know what NEPA is going to do. You know, that you don't need to rush to plug your phone. These little things meant a lot. But more importantly is that when I got there, I saw things we saw in the books. We read off in the books, but we could then see them face to face. How many hospitals in Nigeria had CT scans back then? When someone comes, I can even ask you, if you have a headache and you go to the hospital, what do you think they'll do here in Nigeria?
What would they do? They would do a couple of tests or just say, just take a painkiller.
Paracetamol,
Yeah,
bro,
exactly.
and
Paracetamol, yeah.
send you on your way.
Yeah.
But abroad, it's a crime. In fact, you can be suspended for it. If something happens, a patient comes in with a headache and you don't do a CT scan.
Because it could be something more.
Yes, it could be something more. And we know that in the book, but that's not what we practice. So going there and saying that it's the first thing you do, it's just mind-blowing. You know, so you get to also interact with other people from different countries who have a way of handling medical situations, and you get to learn as well. So yeah.
Have you always loved to travel? Because I know it's one thing to let me not even lie to you. I've had access to travel, but I just started traveling some 2-3 years ago, just because I don't know. I just get anxious about a lot of things. But it's crazy to see that if I was in your shoes, I would just go be a doctor there and stay there. You know. But it's amazing to see that you were traveling. So had you always loved to travel, or is it when you went there you said, you know what, let me see other parts of the world?
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't as if I love to travel, you know. But when I got there and I saw that this first country looks much different, you know, and so before I left, you have this preconceived idea about Muslims in the Middle East. They're, you know, terrorists and all that based on what the media has portrayed. And then you find that that's not the situation. You know, in my hospital, I was fed by an Arab guy who owned a restaurant for 9 months. He would just, in fact, I had to stop going to his restaurant because he just gives me extra, you know. They're very warm, very pleasant, and the language is very interesting. You know, so when I got there and I found that, I said, okay, let's go to Lebanon, let's go to Qatar, let's go to United Arab Emirates, let's go to Jordan and see. And I started seeing different things. So on those trips, I met Italians, I met Spanish people, you meet people from Morocco, you meet Egyptians, and like, wow, the world is actually bigger. And trust me, travel is the best form of education you can have. I promise you, it's better than sitting in the classroom. You know, so it wasn't as if I loved to travel from the onset, but making that first move opened my eyes, and then I just continued.
I mean, somebody listening to you and is just saying that, you know, but that is not, we're a country of over 200 million people.
Yes.
And, you know, like you said, travel is the best form of education. People sitting here in Nigeria don't think that there's that possibility to see the world. And, you know, I remember being in South Africa for the first time, and that is an African country. And I was just like, wow, this is not Nigeria, you know. And as much as I'm not much of a traveler, I don't like to travel, and I've started doing that. It just did something. There was a shift in my mind. So what do you say to the average Nigerian that just says, you know, I don't think there is this possibility for me to see the world?
And that is why I do what I do. So the idea behind the whole birth of WakaWaka Doctor is to say that anybody can travel. You don't need to have a lot of money to be able to do it. You don't need to be extremely rich to be able to do it. You don't need to be rich to be able to travel. I hold the opinion that I think every individual should see what abroad looks like once in their lifetime. Just leave your comfort zone, go somewhere else, and see what life looks like there. You know, so the whole idea of WakaWaka Doctor and what I do is to show people that, look, anybody, whether you are, I got an email from someone maybe about a year ago who was a teacher here and was earning about 25,000 naira. And then he used one of my contents to move to Japan. His salary as a teacher in Japan is $2,000.
How does one that earns 25,000 naira move to $2,000 using just content that he saw?
Yeah, so the content he saw, he had a skill here as a teacher. And all he did was follow my explanation. So for instance, as a teacher, you already have the experience. And even if you don't have the experience, you only have a degree, you can get a certificate called Teaching English as a Foreign Language. It's a TEFL certificate. It's free to get. You can do it in 5 days and get it. Once you have a degree, you get that certificate, and there are websites you apply for. You might apply for almost 200 jobs. You might eventually get 10 interviews. You get 10 interviews, you maybe pass one. That job will sponsor you. So you literally have paid nothing. They pay for your flight, they pay for your accommodation, they give you the job, you just come and you resume.
People often say that our degrees here don't hold water abroad.
That's not true. Various countries have what is called an authentication and verification system, where they put our qualifications and compare them with what they have in Canada or Europe or even the United States. And most times it's always very good. So I wouldn't agree with that. Yeah.
Now, relocating in 2011, 2012, 2013, and relocating in 2025 is different. Number one, in the US, for example, now Trump is the president. Now, there are lots of visa tariffs going back and forth. Different countries it's a lot happening. So, is it more difficult to move out of Nigeria in 2025 than it was years ago?
Well, you're right. It's more difficult in terms of the financial requirements, in terms of the stricter and tightening rules across different countries. And that's why I usually would tell people that the best time to make the move is now. The second best time to do it is now. But that aside, if you're thinking about, let's assume you're thinking the reason why I can't move abroad now is because of the money. The money is, increased because of the exchange rate. There are loads of free opportunities. The problem is that a lot of people are lazy, right? And that brings me to the talk of agents. So you're lazy, you're not willing to do the job, you pay someone to do it for you, they take your money and they run away, right? But if you can sit down on your own, there are tons of opportunities. If I can give a website, there's a website that has over 12,500 funding opportunities, okay, in Europe. 12,500 funding opportunities that you just need to access. You put in your details, you pick the one you like, you upload your documents, and then you wait. You can apply for as many as possible, depending on the field you are. So what I'm doing is bringing people closer to the opportunities. So you cannot say, while it's true that it's become more difficult, more expensive, there's still a way out.
So you're saying that agents are what's the word I'm looking for, the appropriate word? Are you saying agents have become an issue? Because when we go on social media, people I have these agents, I was scammed by this person, but a lot of people feel like it's impossible to do without using agents. Are you saying that people should let go of the mindset that I need to work with an agent?
You don't need to work with an agent. Now, I put my hands up, agents, they're people, they need to make money. I mean, if you come to me as well and say, hey, WakaWaka Doctor, help me process this country, I'm going to say, for my time, you have to pay me so and so amount of money. Yeah. But the truth is, as WakaWaka Doctor, I would prefer that you keep your money and do it with the information I provide. Because no agent can offer you guarantees. Okay? When an agent is even telling you 100% guarantee, that's a red flag. When I'm telling you, don't worry, I will give it to you, you will get the job, it's a red flag. There's so many. Why is an agent in Nigeria helping you get a job in Luxembourg? And the agent never traveled. He doesn't even have a passport. Now.
The agent is kind.
He's kind. He doesn't even have his own passport. So you need to see, the problem with Nigerians is they don't read, they're not patient, they're desperate considering the current climate. But if you sit down and just do the work yourself, you don't, and that's the message I pass across. You don't need to pay anybody to do the work for you. You can actually sit down, do it yourself, and you'll be successful.
People often say that creators that make the kind of content that you make, some of them are selling hope instead of actually selling the truth. What do you say to that statement? That they're just selling hope to the average Nigerian, and some of them you start getting to the agent part, but they're not actually telling people the truth of what is happening and the struggles they're going to face when they're traveling, when they're processing, and when they eventually get there. What do you say to that?
Well, there's an element of truth in it. Social media, you always want to paint the positive picture. You want to put the bright, parts out to people. But you also need to realize that there is no country that doesn't have its difficulties. And I try my best to tell people that, look, if you're looking to start afresh, you're starting brand new. In fact, there's a quote I put out from time to time that travel is not about money, but of courage. Because you're going to start afresh. You're going to start brand new. You're going to leave the food you eat, the people you know, the weather conditions. You're going to start some people cry when they get abroad, right? It's not all bed of roses. There are difficult challenges. But, I mean, you've lived in a country, your home country, for maybe 20 years. You can't move to a country in 1 year and expect that things, you have to give it time. And if you give it time, you put your head down, you do the work, you give your sacrifices, you will get the results. And most times that's how it usually is.
What were some challenges that you personally faced when you moved abroad? You know, you spoke about food and people crying and all of that. I had a friend. It doesn't come like that anymore. But you know, the first 1 year, I was called every day. This food, it was a lot. But what are some certain things that you faced? You know, when you traveled.
Too many. So my first week, I was almost arrested.
Wow.
My first week, I was almost arrested. So, you know, Friday is. I left my hotel. Let me explore. So I went to rural part of Riyadh. Friday is, you know, their Muslim time, Muslim prayers and all. I didn't know. So I was just walking. But after walking for a while, I suddenly noticed, I've been walking for like 30 minutes. I'm the only one. I can't see anybody. Everywhere is locked. Look, everywhere. Something must be happening. So I kept going. I got to the city center, and then I just saw a truck of people, about 4 or 5 people, full beards.
Oh my
I
God.
said, I'm finished. I'm dead. Full beards just came, and Arabic. It was my first week. You know, kefalek. I was like, what? What? You know, antamalum Arabi. What? What are you saying? You know, and they were like, luckily for me, there was a guy who understood a bit of English. So he was asking me, are you Christian or Muslim?
Hey.
Please, what am I going to answer? If I say I'm Christian, I don't know what they do. If I say I'm Muslim, I don't know what So I was just like, I was just stammering. So he took out my wallet and went for my resident card. It's written on it. So that was a saving grace, that I had Christianity on it. Because if I was Muslim, I should be indoors.
So it's even if you were a Muslim, you would have been dealt with. It's your Christianity that saved you.
I would have been I should be indoors praying, locked up. I shouldn't be walking. So I told him, I said, I'm Christian. I just landed in the country. That was my saving grace. And then he gave me the warning and told me to just go back. I didn't walk back, I ran back. You know. So that was one. Second, the language.
Yeah.
Of course, English-speaking country, had to learn Arabic. For the first 6 months, I had an interpreter. I had to learn bit by bit. Now I've lost it because I don't use it anymore. Then you also, the food is another thing. The food was totally different. You had more of pouring milk inside rice and, 10 people around a plate eating together, whether they know you or they don't know you, they use their hands.
Oh, real?
Oh, yeah. I've walked into a restaurant where people just called me like, hey, yalla, come, just come. I'm like, yeah, sit down.
Are you supposed to pay for it?
No, it's free. It's free. And if an Arab guy invites you into his home, you don't say no. If you say no, it's a sign of disrespect. Because according to them, it feels like he has sized you up and feels your worth coming into his home. So if you say no, you've disrespected him. So those are some of the things that I found, because I was like, why you want to kidnap me in your house? Why are you forcing me to your house? Those are some of the things. And then you don't talk to women. When a man is with his wife, you can't, if you have a question about his wife, you talk to him. In fact, my first day of seeing the patient, first day or second day, I had a lady who had, she had a breast swelling. So I was going to ask her about her breast, right? And the husband was right beside there. So the patient, I was asking questions, and the guy fled up. Why are you asking my wife about her breast? And then they came to me and said, no, you have to ask the husband about her condition.
And the husband.
If he doesn't know, he will ask his wife. So these were some of the, and then luckily he had Skype. So you could call
Skype.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
A long
Skype.
time, yeah. So you could call home back, and communication was that was the way to just communicate and not feel homesick. But there are loads and loads of challenges. Yeah.
I mean, that's such a major one, the language barrier thing. When people think about traveling, most countries that come to mind: Canada, USA, UK. But we now know that there are multiple opportunities in lots of countries. But apart from the fact that there's lack of information, people are not learning and not educating themselves. Language is such a huge thing. I have someone that traveled to Germany, and it was such a struggle, So what do you say to people that are just afraid, of that language situation? I'm going to travel here to Saudi Arabia. I'm going to have to be dealing. Plus, let's be honest, it's a totally different climate.
Totally different.
In the world we're living in right now. So there's a bit of more fear in people from then compared to now. But, language is also a huge thing. And, once you can break through with language, that is like half of the work done. So what do you say to people that are a bit afraid about that?
The idea is based on the quote I still gave you, that traveling abroad or moving abroad or traveling as a whole is not about money, but of courage. If you have the courage to make that move, you just have to take that leap of faith, right? I don't think you can live in a place for so long and not pick the language in bits. I think you need to stay committed. You need to make an attempt. Because again, the idea is you want to move to, I always ask people, I say, you need to answer a question, the question why. Why are you moving? Don't move because WakaWaka Doctor said you should move. Don't move because Jay is moving, right? You need to answer that question why, because if you're able to answer why, then whatever obstacle is in front of you, you would fight to pass through that obstacle. So if you're moving because you want a better passport than what you currently hold, you're looking to move because you want better security. You're looking to move because you want increased financial remuneration like me. You want more money, or you want access to basic amenities. Then you will try and stick to it to the end. It's difficult. I'm not saying you will just get there and begin to speak je m'appelle, No. You would learn. And it's about making those moves. Go to the cafe, go to restaurants, go to the park, meet people. One word today, another word tomorrow, another one next tomorrow. And we're in the tech age, isn't it? So you have Duolingo, you have multiple apps, you have ChatGPT. You can ask, how do you say this in French, or how do you say this in Portuguese? It will translate for you, and then you begin to pick bit by bit. So while it's difficult, you just need to make an attempt for it.
What are certain countries that people sleep on? Like I said, people often think about the Canada but I saw, I think it's even pinned on your page, Japan, And there's something I noticed. You pinned it on your page last year, 2024. Amazingly, you did the same beginning of this year, 2025. In fact, the same exact post, nothing had changed. But it also seems as if people have slept so much on it that you had to say, my people, this thing has there's still an opportunity in Japan here. So apart from Japan, or let's start with Japan and then other countries that people are sleeping on.
There are so many countries. As a rule, for everyone who follows me, I say this, that depending on the, whether it's United Nations or UNESCO, whatever, or FIFA, there are at least 195 countries in the world. So you can't say that out of 195 countries in the world, as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, there are only 5 countries better than Nigeria. You can't say that. So why is everybody rushing to Canada, UK, Australia, why? When there are 195 countries, there are at least 100 countries that are better than Nigeria. If you can, if you can answer the question why. And Japan is one of them, because technological advancement, huge economy, strong economy, an older population looking for a young workforce. So they are looking for skilled people, teachers, engineers, tech guys, loads of scholarship opportunities. In fact, in November, there's a MEXT scholarship open in Japan. There are 2 types of MEXT scholarship, one for teachers specifically, and others for other people. Japan is so good that even if they refuse you your visa, they give you your money back.
Oh, really?
Yes, they don't. They give you your money back.
Is Japan the only country that does that?
Yes, yes. You don't have anything to lose. So there are loads of opportunities in Brazil, for instance. Even visitors study for free.
Visitors study for free.
Visitors study for free. If you give birth in Brazil today, your baby gets a Brazilian passport. You as parents get 10 years permanent residency cards. The siblings of the baby get permanent residency. The grandparents
is a generational blessing.
Get residency permits. So why would, and people say, oh, what is in Brazil? But Brazil has the 12th strongest passport. You can see 150 countries with the Brazilian passport compared to the 44 of Nigeria. Plus the benefits I've just given to you. You study in Brazil for free. You get free feeding every day. You get accommodation free as well. Okay? And Brazil, the unemployment rate in Brazil is less than 12%. So why is Brazil not a choice? So, or should we talk about, say, Austria, for instance? Austria. There's opportunities in Austria. Tuition in Austria is about 375 euros. So I can sit here and talk about numerous opportunities. The idea is, if the country is better than where you are right now, make the move for it.
Just a quick one to let you know that JNR is now taking sponsors. If you're a company out there, you're a brand out there, you want to be a part of what we're doing here, you want to be side by side some of the biggest opinion leaders, entertainers, celebrities in getting your brand out there, you need to contact us. You know, thousands and millions of people are seeing our videos on YouTube, listening to us on the radio, and your brand is definitely going to be getting the spotlight that it needs. So what you need to do is send us an email to jayonairbusiness@gmail.com. That is JAYONAIRbusiness@gmail.com. So let us talk about some myths people have about leaving Nigeria or jackpotting, in quote. What are certain misconceptions that people have? But before you answer that, I want to open the phone lines because I know myself, as you are giving me sweet, I will just, if you want to ask questions, you want to say something to WakaWaka Doctor, what you need to do is call into the studio or send a WhatsApp message or a text message to 091 30,000 885. That is 4 zeros in between. Before I call the number, I know my people now. Muyiwa, I can see you calling. You can use your headset so we can hear what Muyiwa wants to say. Hello, Muyiwa, welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening, Jay.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing, man?
I'm fine. Give me WakaWaka Doctor.
How are you, sir? It's good to hear you.
Yeah, thank you. You've spoken well about agents and all that. Just to share a quick experience and also ask my question.
Okay.
There's this agent that if a family friend told me to contact for Dublin, so I always make sure to do background checks. So I asked another family friend, and he told me there are no jobs in Dublin, that I shouldn't give my money to anybody. I should keep my money. And just to ask, what's your opinion on that? Number one. Then number two, I've been hearing about Malta as also a very good option for Europe, and then Sweden. Please, would you like to throw more light on those two countries as well as Dublin that I first spoke of? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Miwa, for asking that question. So for Dublin and your agent, I don't think you should pay anybody money to get you a job. You see, jobs that come with visa sponsorship should be free. You don't need to pay anybody to get jobs with visa sponsorship. Now, depending on the skill you have, whether it's in tech or in finance and accounting or medicine, you will be able to get jobs. Now, the jobs that are not available, everybody in every country is complaining that there is no job. It's normal. But if you're in the country and you have the skill, so every country has a skill in demand. So what I need you to do, Miwa, is go on your Google and Google shortage occupations list Republic of Ireland, and take a look at the list of jobs that are in demand in the Republic of Ireland. If you have a skill on that list, then you need to send in applications to recruitment agencies, use your LinkedIn account, use job boards, and apply by yourself. No agent can help you get jobs. it's something you can do by yourself. Now, regards Malta. Malta is an English-speaking country in Europe. It's more affordable when you compare with the United Kingdom, the US, and the other English-speaking countries. The issue with Malta, however, two issues with Malta is, number one, visa refusals are a lot now. I'll say that the chance of success with visa with Malta now is between 50 to 60%. So if you're going to make a visa application, know that you don't have a high chance of success. They've been refusing people recently, so it's about 50 to 60%. Then secondly is that Ireland is a small country. It's an island country. Malta is an island country of Italy. Not a lot of people. So when you want to move to Malta, if you do move to Malta, you need to have skills in either healthcare, tech, logistics and supply chain, business related courses. Those are the only courses that would do you good in Malta. Otherwise, no. For Sweden, if you're a tech related person, I would recommend Sweden. Otherwise, at the moment, except you're going to Sweden on a scholarship. Sweden has a scholarship that's going to open on the 16th of October. It's called the SIGS scholarship. You can look out for that, where they pay for everything. If that's the route you're going to take, then make use of it. Otherwise, just go somewhere else.
So back to this question about, do you think Japa is for everybody? Because at the end of the day, my doctor, sir, we're a country of 200 million people. Do you think that there's a possibility for everybody?
Not everybody can Japa, right?
Okay.
Not everybody can, but everybody should try.
So before you even got have you gotten some level of pushback from maybe people in government or people higher up, saying that because you are actively telling people that these are the things you need to do to leave Nigeria?
Many. I think, it's slowed down a bit now, but when I started, when I started up until last year, was a lot. They were reporting my page back to back, right? But it's just it is what it is. So, and they also see that I don't really give a toss, right? It's not as if I'm an agent. I'm trying to present opportunities to people, let them choose. By the way, if you fix your country, I will tell people to move to Nigeria. I will. So it's a challenge to Nigeria and the government to also do more for its own people. So I'm not really, in fact, I'm helping Nigeria. This is my service to Nigeria by telling people to go out, because look, think about how much we sent back to Nigeria. We sent back to Nigeria in terms of forex and remittances. Yeah. So we are also helping the economy. And the idea for me too is that Japa is a cycle, right? That if you go, you have to do whatever you want to do and still come back. I do not think you've effectively Japad if somebody in your family or your community or even your street or your state hasn't benefited from you. So you must go, make that money, garner that skill, get that certificate, then come and help somebody. It's a cycle that has.
When you say help somebody here or help somebody to travel?
No, help somebody here. Help somebody here.
All right, let's take this one. Hello, welcome to the show. What's your name?
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Turn off your radio, please. Switch off your radio. Okay, thank you. What's your
My
name? Where are you
name
calling
is Queen.
from?
Good evening. Good day to WakaWaka Doctor,
right.
and good day to the UFM radio station.
Thank you.
And my name is Queen.
Okay.
So I want to ask a question. You said if you have a degree or something, you can travel and work outside.
Yeah.
What about those that don't have a certificate? Can they still travel out as a family?
All right, so you would answer the question now. Keep listening, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, so Queen is asking, I don't have a certificate. Can I travel out?
Yes, you can. You need one of three things to be able to move abroad. You need just one of three things: money, skill, degree. So if you don't have degree, then your skill has to work for you. If you don't have a skill, then your money has to work for you. Money, you can use it to buy a degree. So if you don't have a certificate and you're 50 years old, for instance, you can still go for vocational courses. Vocational courses means you can do a 1 year or 2 year course in nursing assistant care, restaurant management, chef management or cookery, electrical, welding, plumbing, marketing and sales, digital. You can do those in Portugal, in Italy, in Spain. They do all those kind of language courses even. So that's one way. If you've got a skill, like I said with Muyiwa, if you've got a skill in demand, that could also be your ticket out. So you only need one of three things. Anyone you have, you can definitely use it.
What skills are people sleeping on when it comes to living the country? What skills? Tech
is tech is
not everybody get ahead for tech now.
But tech is high on the list. You look at the skill in demand anywhere. You're going to see cybersecurity, AI, data analytics, cloud computing, graphic design, UI UX. You're going to see those ones. Then of course you're going to see healthcare. Then you have blue collar skills like plumbing, like electricians, like welder, like being a chef. You have those ones as well. Finance skills, accounting skills. Those are also skills that are in demand.
I mean, you have almost 1 million followers on Instagram, almost 500,000 on Twitter, now X, almost 400,000 subscribers. Let's not even talk about your Facebook. I mean, what do you think helped you build that kind of strong community? Because when people think about, social media now, they think if you're not making people laugh right now, you are not going to, but you are one of the people that proves that even though, yes, we love your dancing. And sometimes that makes us laugh. But you are one of the people that has shown us that educational content actively works. What do you think has been able to help you build this level of community?
I think the most important thing is having a track record. There's a story, and I've always told my story that I didn't find myself abroad and start creating content. I lived in Nigeria like everybody else. I had my own struggle. I found a way to move abroad without paying a dime. So I have done it. I have moved from country to country. I've seen 79 countries. I've lived and worked in 5 countries. So I have the experience to tell you. I've made mistakes, and that's why I say don't use agents, because agents have scammed me too. Right? So the thing is, I've got a track record of successes and failures that I've shared. I always show the positive sides and I show the negative sides. And I teach people how to do it. I explain. I do research. So people see all this and they just, I'm not someone who sits in one corner in Nigeria and tells you, oh, somebody got Schengen visa, look, pay 200,000, you get no. There's a track record of how I've done things, and people have followed my story, and more importantly, there are proven results. I do my best to always show emails, DMs of success stories. I tell you what, any country I land, and this is not to boast, but any country I land, any airport, someone identifies me. Any airport I get to, someone identifies me. And that's why recently I started saying, when I get to a specific country, I'm just going to make an announcement. And see, I was in Iceland. I met Nigerians in Iceland who came to meet me. Every country I go to, there's someone who says, oh, thank you. It's because of you I'm here. And I put that online and people can see.
That's amazing. Is your content specific to just the Nigerian audience, or are you able to reach out to people outside of, Nigeria?
Everywhere, bro. Fiji, I have people. I have Myanmar. I've got a community member in Myanmar, loads of Indians, Pakistanis, and Bangladesh as well. I've got people in Brazil, people in Cuba, people in Venezuela. So it's broad. Yeah.
Are there certain African countries that people in Nigeria or in Africa actually sleeping on? African countries that maybe have good economies and people can consider moving to?
Rwanda. Of course, Rwanda. Rwanda is a place that people are sleeping on. The economy of Rwanda is gradually growing and will become one of the biggest. And I think people should look into it. Another one is Botswana. That people have not really copped on, and I think over the next few years would also blow up.
Amazing. So let's wrap up with some really nice fun questions. What has been the best country in your opinion? You have to answer because I know that as you said, I have committee members in Miami. Let them fight you once. Let them fight you for once. What's the country that you've been to that? Okay, let me tweak it, that shocked you the most? What country shocked you the most?
Shocked me the most. That's a tough question.
It's not now.
It's tough.
79 countries and counting.
It's tough. I think the one that shocked me the most, Vietnam.
How so?
Vietnam. I didn't think it'd be that beautiful. I think I went to Vietnam thinking Vietnam is a poor country. And they had gone through the war with the US, and you know, even though they tried to rebuild, but I just went there thinking Vietnam would not be great. Food is cheap in Vietnam. The landscape is amazing. The culture and the traditional vibes you get there, superb. So I think Vietnam blew my mind, and I think that's one country that shocked me.
What country's food did you love the most?
People would not agree with this. They would possibly not agree with this, and I know people talk about the Italians and the Greeks and the French having great food, but I think I stayed in India for 2 months. I ran away because of the food.
It was so good.
I was getting fat, bro. It was so good. Butter chicken, chicken naan, chicken tikka. Oh my God.
All the types. And the final one I'm going to ask you in this round of question is, what country did you go to that had the most gorgeous people?
Gorgeous women or people?
Yes, women, people. All the same. Women. What country?
Brazil, bro.
I knew you were going to say Brazil. That's why you're really fighting for Brazil. Your grandma is...
It's Brazil, man. Brazil. Yo, superb.
What is legacy for you, as I wrap this up? What is legacy for you? When, people think about you or talk about you years from now, what do you want them to say?
I want people to be able to say that because of me, they've been able to break through the lines of poverty. They've been able to beat poverty as a consequence of the information I've provided, that their lives have been transformed based on the information I've given them, that the things they felt they could not do, places they thought they could never see, that they eventually did it. In a nutshell, that their lives were changed just by, things I put out there.
I mean, you can find him everywhere. Nobody shares that name with him. WakaWaka Doctor, Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Jay.
And thank you for the great work that you do.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Hopefully we have you here again, to talk more.
I'd love to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, that's our time on Jay on Air. I mean, WakaWaka Doctor has shown us the many possibilities. From Nigeria, you can do so many things around the world. You can go to so many places. You can experience so many places. But you need to get off that bed, and put in the work. And your story could change in a split second. This has been Jay on Air. We have this Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 p.m. right here on 80.5 UFM. And of course, this is on YouTube on Jay on Air TV tomorrow at exactly 6 p.m. Bye for now.